Welcome! Oh hey, I'm Nicole Fodi, aka Soundly Awake, and do I have a story for you? Okay, so rewinding back like some kind of years. How many years? Probably 10. Why are all of my stories from 10 years ago? I had a very eventful 2006. So I met this guy, clearly my first mistake. We met on a dating site, which I don't remember what it was, and if it even exists anymore. But it wasn't Grindr because Grindr did not exist yet. So, I'm not gonna tell you his name, but I will tell you it's the same name as one of the chipmunks. I didn't want a hula hoop. I just wanted a nice date, and I got it. Oh, I got it. Yeah, no, we went on a beautiful, wonderful, gorgeous date at this place called Archetypus in Edgewater, New Jersey. It was amazing. The back part of the restaurant was designed like a cave, so you were eating in a cave, and they had really good food. And he was super cute, and he took me to this nice place, and we had a great date, or so I thought. And we even had a second date. I don't remember which one came first. I think that was the first date, and then our second date, we met somewhere in the middle because I lived in central-ish Jersey and he lived in northern-ish Jersey. So we met halfway in north central New Jersey, does that make sense? Okay. At a Fridays. And we even sat in his car together and made out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like, be upfront, put that out there. Bonk, bonk. And he was romantic and sweet and funny. And all of these things, okay? So, we're talking one day and we're planning our third date. So, date 3. I really think this is going somewhere. I am very invested. He's, all the things that I thought was good. So we plan this third date. He offers to pick me up. So I'm like, okay, what time? And he says 8 p.m. So 8 p.m. that day, a couple days later, whenever it was, maybe it was the next day after we planned it, I don't remember. I text him at like 2 p.m. From work, because I'm like, oh, like excited to see you tonight, something like that. And I didn't get a response, but I just figured he was working and I was gonna see him that night anyway. So come 7:30, I'm like, oh, let me know when you're close and I'll head outside. Nothing. So 8 o'clock comes. Do you see where we are in the timeline? It went 8 o'clock is the time he was supposed to be there, okay? Well, guess who wasn't there? Whoa! So like 8:15, I'm like, okay, something is not, I'm just gonna wait outside. Maybe like his phone died and could be waiting outside for me for the past 15 minutes and he has no way to contact me because I like to make up excuses for people. So I'm standing outside for a good 20 minutes. So I call him, nothing. It doesn't go straight to voicemail, just rings and then what's it called? Voicemail. How did I just say the word voicemail but forget the word voicemail? Excuse me. So I get his voicemail and I leave a message and I'm like, hey, just wondering if you're okay. Let me know when you're close. And I'm excited, whatever, like whatever I said in the moment, okay? All right? Your boy is asleep mentally. And I'm like, okay, 9 p.m., an hour late with no communication. He's probably still coming. So I wait. Still waiting, on the edge of my seat, like waiting to get picked up. And 10 o'clock comes. And I'm like, okay, so I guess like maybe there's less of a chance now, but he still might come. So eventually that night I give up and I go to sleep, which is the equivalent of waving the white flag. I surrender. You got me. So the next day, I try to call him and still no answer. And I texted him once. Called him once, texted him once, no answer. So then I gave up. And, the next day comes, the end of the week comes, the end of the next week comes. 2 weeks later, he texts me out of nowhere, and he goes, sorry about that. What? Sorry about that. How are you? Sorry about that. Killed your whole family, sorry about that. Blew up the moon, sorry about that. Set the neighborhood on fire, sorry about that. Deceased. And it's 2 weeks later. Like, for the past 2 weeks, I've been quite, like, did I do something wrong? Like, am I just a trash bag? And so I'm like, well, what happened? Like, Helena, like, where weren't you? And then eventually I'm like, wait, so be honest, is it another guy? And he goes, yeah. this whole time. You could have just not planned the date with me. Oh, that would have been pretty easy. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. I can't. And then I never talked to him again. So the moral of the story is, if you are not interested in someone, or if someone else comes along and you're more interested in them, why don't you let the other person down? Just tell them, just be like, hey, no. But like in a nicer way, I guess. And it goes hand in hand with people who cheat. Because, hello, why didn't you just break up with them? Break up with them. Do the sex with, whoever you want, because you're single now. Don't go on a third date with this person. Do the sex with someone else. Or the date, because we didn't do the sex. But it's a figure of speeching. I'm really good at speeching, if you haven't noticed. And then go about your day. Huh? So that's it. Those are my grievances with getting stood up. Hey, Megan Tonges, what do you want? Megan Tonges.
You're so dumb.
Listen, I don't know what kind of talent you have for calling me literally while the camera is on. Like, how do you do that?
I'm going to constantly be on your vlog. I'm going to start sending invoices from my managers to you. I don't know where you can be reached, but I will be forwarding my documentation and my request for pay. I also want you and your audience to know that I'm peeing right now as I speak to you.
That's great. Thank you. I'm going to close this video with you on the phone. That's
great. As you should. I'm great.
Okay. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you think about being stood up in the comments below. What do you think about being stood up? Hey, and check out my channel, youtube.com/soundlyawake, for more things like this and other types of things. Thanks for watching.
Don't forget to subscribe to youtube.com/Tonja. If you want better stuff.
Pieces. I can't.